You want to go? You want to scrap? You want to throw down? You want to fight? I heard the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the organization that has the cage fighting, a mixed martial arts organization, they had a motto that lasted about 10 minutes. I guess the politicians saw them. And the title, the motto was, "Fighting solves everything." Now, I obviously don't agree with that, but close. So what looks like a fight, like conflict, right? Like difficult conversations are essential to change our lives and change the world. If we're not having difficult conversations, we're not progressing. So it's very essential that we have difficult conversations and do it in a way that we benefit, we don't lose, and that's what I want to share with you. My name is James MacNeil. It is Verbal Aikido. That's what I'm going to be introducing you to today. Aikido is a Japanese martial art, non-adversarial, which means the goal is always peace, not to win, but to never have physical conflict. Aikido stands for the powerful path to peace. So Verbal Aikido is using our communication skills to discover the powerful path to peace without any difficulty. No, difficulty is part of it, but making it work and making it great. So what's the difference between fighting and difficult conversations that are assertive and appropriate? And one is constructive, one is destructive. So we want to have a constructive conversation. We want to turn conflict into something constructive, where both of us walk away better and, frankly, closer. Have you ever had a conflict with someone, a difficult whatever, and then later you became good friends, maybe even as a result? Because like, hey, you're all right. So conflict is often the way to create great relationships, protect great relationships, restore great relationships, and so it's essential. Now, the number one thing I want you to know is the number one problem the number one mistake is people think it shouldn't happen. There shouldn't be any conflict. There shouldn't be any disagreement. Everyone should always play nice and nothing bad should ever happen. That's like saying the house should never get dirty. I should never need to go to the dentist. I never should have to have a shower. Like these are things that are uncomfortable but necessary, and we understand that. Please embrace that difficult conversations are part of a happy, healthy life and a happy, healthy marriage, happy, healthy business. If you're not okay with conflict, you're going to have trouble having a great life. It's just a fact. Conflict is part of the deal because we're humans and we have a free will universe, so it's going to happen. So that's number one. Number one, it's normal. Number two, you can take a non-adversarial mindset that says, I'm not fighting you, you and I are fighting ideas, right? Philosophies, negotiations. The war is not between you and I, the war is over there, and you and I are on the same team of finding a great resolution. Having that mindset changes everything. The fundamental philosophy of Aikido says this: respect the energy, redirect the energy, and maintain balance. To respect the energy, someone says, you're an idiot. Well, I could say, no, I'm not, you are, right? That's conflict. And if they say, you're an idiot, I could say, I know, and right? So I could go passive or aggressive, fight or flight. And this is where most people, don't have the best outcome is they go into fight or flight. If I was in my mastery of Verbal Aikido state, if I was in a perfect state of mind, what I would like to be able to say, someone says, you're a jerk or an idiot. I would like to be able to say, I'm sad to hear you say that. I'm guessing I've offended you and I didn't mean to. Would you be kind enough to tell me what I did so I can apologize properly? The person's like, wow, all right. So to be able to say, I'm not afraid of a difficult conversation. I prioritize relationship over comfort. And so when you prioritize relationship over comfort, you can be a master communicator. So there we go. So those are some introductory ideas. So number one, it's normal. Number two, it doesn't have to be conflict. And whatever I said, three. Here we go. Yeah. So to respect the energy, redirect the energy, and maintain balance. Next. The next challenge that people have when it comes to conflict is they go in unprepared. So if someone else brings conflict to you and you don't have any time to plan, it's not your fault. It is what it is. Do your best. I do encourage you to, if you feel you're being like a surprise attack, right? You're like, this is an important conversation and I'm not prepared, right? Then I would encourage you to say, I want to have this conversation and I want to do it properly. I respect what you're bringing to the table here, and I'm asking you for permission to put this to another date so that I can be in a better state of mind, because this is too important to you and it's too important to me. And then often the person will say, okay. So what they failed to do, you might write this down, is they failed to give you what's called a rite of passage question, which means, are you open to have this conversation now? If someone violates that and they don't give you permission, or they don't ask your permission to have a difficult conversation, then you have the opt-out option of saying, I'm not comfortable doing this right now. And so that's one of the tools I would like you to have, right? The next thing I would say is you want to have a clear objective. What am I hoping to accomplish, achieve, or acquire in this conversation? So if you're planning ahead, you want to think, what do I want? And in that process, you're going to be challenging your beliefs and your emotions. Because normally when you're looking at a difficult conversation, it starts with, they're a jerk, I'm going to get them, right? Or here's what I want, which is not wrong. It's the beginning of your thoughts. But then you want to say, okay, so what do I really want and why, right? What do I really want and why? I'll give an example. A person would say to me, they say, I'm going to tell this person that they stepped on my toe, right? They stepped on my toe. Literally, they stepped on my toe. And I say, okay, what's your objective? And they might say, well, I just want them to know. I say, okay, let's see how that works. So they say, you stepped on my toe. And the person says, I don't give a crap. And then they're all angry. I say, well, then it wasn't let them know. You wanted an apology. You wanted something you didn't get. So you lied to yourself when you said, I just want them to know. So having clarity, what is your objective going into a conversation is very, very important. And doing that properly, what do I want, what I really, really want, and why? And then ask yourself, how is this good for both of us? And you might say, well, why am I arguing for their team? Well, because if you corner someone and you make it an impossible situation where it's only win or win-lose, how do you expect the other person's going to be? So how can I aim at a win-win? And I might not have the answers, but that is my intent. Beautiful. So those are some setting the objective, having a clear mind. The other thing is you want to plan your rite of passage question to say, I'd like to talk to you about something. It's very important. You could even let them in on it. Say, I'm very upset about something, or it's about money or whatever. Give them a heads up and then let them say, yeah, I can do that now, or they can book it at a different time. Otherwise, you put them on their back heel and they might fight and flight. Good. And then what else? Assume that everyone's a good guy and everyone's a bad guy. So you're not perfect and they're not perfect. Perfect in your personhood, but not in your current reality. So excuse me. So if I was to say to you right now, think of a difficult person. Think of a very difficult person, a person that you found very difficult in your past. Okay, think about their face, think about their name. Beautiful. Now, if you weren't watching this video, but they were watching this video, and I asked them to think of a difficult person, would they think of you? So just because we have conflict with someone doesn't mean they're the bad guy and I'm the good guy. It's a curious, never-ending mix of we're all good guys and bad guys. Beautiful. Now, the last thing I want to share for this video is just to say, if you don't have your wits about you, you're not going to be a very good communicator. So if you allow yourself to get too emotional, it's going to take your brain away. Like, have you ever been so upset by someone, your best comeback is, what the heck was that? So sometimes we get so emotional, our brain shuts down. And by opening up your mind and cutting the wire on the bomb that says they're evil and I'm going to get them, but to calm down, say, I'm not exactly sure why they did that or how that happened. Okay, let me go in there with somewhat of an open mind, but I'm pretty strong in my emotions. That's fine. But if you don't cut the wire on the bomb, you're just going in there explosive. And when you do that, you're actually very easily manipulated. It's very easy to beat someone in a physical conflict, like in sports. And it's very easy to beat someone in a conversation when they don't have their wits. So you don't want to be that person who's too afraid or too angry. You want to get yourself into a state that says, I'm pretty emotionally engaged in this. However, I'm open to see things in ways that I never did before. Then let's just close with this. The beauty of being open to difficult conversations with calm confidence, safe strength, and a pure motivation, having the right intent, seeing it as you and I are going to address this thing. What that does is it unlocks your perfect dream life of being able to get along with people and progress, to negotiate, to sell, to make peace. So it's very important that you master the skills of verbal Aikido. And I would like to remind you of a couple of things that I've said. You want to respect the energy, redirect the energy, and maintain balance. You're going to want to have a calm confidence, a safe strength, and pure motivation. And then the last thing I would encourage you to do is simply say, we're going to get better, right? So some conversations, you're going to be able to fix everything. Some conversations, it's just conversation number one. And it's going to take a few to get all the way to the achieved, the desired outcome for both of you. And that's why big money negotiations often take a number of times. That's why law enforcement takes a number of times interviewing a suspect or whatever to get the information. Sometimes we get one step at a time towards a breakthrough, but please see this, please know this, that we're all good guys, we're all bad guys. And if we're open to have difficult conversations respectfully, we can change our lives, change our world, change our business. And so I highly encourage you to consider mastering Verbal Aikido, and I look forward to speaking with you more on it. Again, please like, love, comment, share. Comments are my favorite. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to talk about. And this is the beginning of probably tons of conversations around Verbal Aikido. But master your interpersonal communications, and you master your life. Thank you. Love, joy, peace.